Hello everyone, welcome, Happy New Year. Thank you for joining me for a practice on your mat. If this is your first time joining me for a practice, then I encourage you to listen for just a little bit longer. If you're familiar with who I am and what I do, then somewhere down there you'll be able to skip ahead. So for those of you joining for the first time or very new to the channel, thank you. My name's Nav, I teach yoga, I educate folks on mindfulness and meditation. And today on our mats, we'll be building some strength through the core. Now, although I pointed to my abs, you'll come to learn pretty soon that the core requires strength through the whole body. And so some of you will be trying new things today. I encourage you to be curious about your body while respecting the limits of your body. And if you fall short of some of the challenges, that's okay. You can always try again, coming back to the video whenever it fits your needs. If you end up enjoying the class, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel grow considerably. And when it comes to today's practice, you don't need a whole lot. If you have blocks, they may come in handy. A towel to wipe off your sweat. And if you got a mat, great. Otherwise, you can always practice on a towel, on a carpet, whatever allows you to claim some space. So that taken care of. Let's make our way onto our mats as we begin on our backs. Just finding a comfortable, restful shape in which you can take some space up with your legs and arms. And the idea here is to just simply slow the body down. Some of you will be able to land in a posture that invites stillness, while others just bring in tiny movements to release some restless energy out of the body. So see what you need. Some of us legs extended, some of us knees bent. But let's just take 30, 45 seconds here to get the body relaxed, to get the mind calm, to prepare ourselves physically and mentally for today's practice. Intentional breaths to release stagnant energy. Smooth breaths, steady breaths as we strengthen our connection to breath. May you have a wonderful practice on your mat today. Let's take a breath in, reaching arms overhead, pointing toes away, a full body stretch. Breath out, bringing your knees to your chest as you round through your back. Let's give ourselves a bit of a squeeze, a nice big hug. Let's start by warming up through the hips as we engage our core a little bit more. We'll start with our bridge, heels by our hips, arms by our side. Wrap your shoulders under your spine as you take a breath, lifting your hips to the sky. Start here. Make any adjustments you may need through your feet, through your legs. Hands are there to support you. Awesome. Now let's play from here. On your breath in, right leg will lift up to the sky. So if you did have your feet a bit wider apart, you may need to bring them a bit closer together. Now, if possible, we'll start to reach our hands towards that right foot. And in the process of doing so, rolling up through your head, your neck, your shoulders. It's not a big roll, but we're just focusing on the reaching as we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, lower your hips down. Bring your right foot down, and we're just going to switch sides. Breath in, lifting up through the hips. Feeling stable, feeling strong here. And if you're willing to work with more, left leg can kick up to the sky. And if working with a straight leg feels like too much, no problem, we bring in a bent knee. Reaching the hands high, and then using your core to roll up through your spine. Chin slightly tucks as your head lifts. Maybe we're able to lift up the tops of our shoulder blades. Holding 3, 2, 1, Lower your hips down, both feet down, and one last time, a very soft bridge. Great. Let's roll our hips down. Let's bring our knees in. Let's grab onto the backs of our legs as we bring some movement in through the spine. Bringing yourself forward into your tabletop, coming onto your hands and knees. Shoulders line up with your wrists, knees with your hips. Let's bring in our cat and cows to begin. Inhaling, belly drops as your chin and tail lift. Breath out, rounding through your spine as we tuck chin and tailbone in. And then just given the nature of our class as we continue to move through our cat and cows, some of us may shift our weight forward and back just to bring a bit more consideration to our wrists, to our heels. We will explore some intentional movements through the arms just to bring a little bit more awareness to the hands. So simple things to do. We'll start first. We'll walk our hands 1 or 2 steps closer to our knees so we can sit back on our heels. Hands will turn outward, so thumbs face forward, fingers turn out. And we can bring in some clockwise and counterclockwise movements here. Let's go 3 times in both directions, and these don't have to be fast movements. Notice how it feels as you shift your weight over your different knuckles. See which hand can take a bit more weight than the other. Great. We will flip our hands, so we'll have the tops of our hands on our mat. Palms faced up, thumbs facing forward still. So we have our fingers turned in towards one another. And once again, 3 clockwise, 3 counterclockwise. Some of you will do more, some of you will do less. And it's just about maintaining a smooth and steady breath here. We can always bend the elbows. The more weight we have shifted onto our heels, the less weight gets dumped into your forearms and wrists. So please be mindful of that. And our last drill here, we'll bring the palms back down onto the ground, but we'll turn our hands all the way out. So thumbs turn towards the outsides of your mat, fingers point back towards your knees, and we'll be very mindful every time we shift our weight back. For some of you, you will not be able to go all the way back, and that's quite all right. Once again, we can always be lighter on the hands so we don't have to press the palms into the ground if they won't go. And then eventually we'll lift our hands off our mat. We'll roll them out, open and close through the fists. Great. Let us continue from here. When you do feel ready, hands will come back down, toes will curl. Let's lift our hips up and let's shift our weight back. Let's bring ourselves into our first downward dog. Pressing in through your palms as you lengthen through your arms. Think about pulling the shoulders apart to give your head a bit more space to dip down towards the ground. Pulling in your navel, sending your hips a bit higher. And as always, I encourage you to take your dog for a walk as you bend your knees and pedal out your feet. Wonderful. Let's just be mindful of how we've positioned ourselves here. So on your breath in, coming forward into your plank. Shoulders in line with your wrist, maybe slightly in front. We're pressing into our toes. We're staying engaged through our thighs. Notice if the shoulders start to collapse and they hug onto your back. See if you can press. Notice if the hips are sagging and see if we can lift the hips a bit higher. Holding 3, 2, 1. On your exhale, return to down dog. Let's bring some softness to our knees as we look forward. And on your breath out, we'll step, hop, jump, folding at the top of our mat. A couple of breaths here in your ragdoll as you just let your upper body hang heavy. You can always bend your knees. You can always let your arms dangle. We can always widen the distance between our feet. Remaining engaged through your glutes and core. Breath in. Let's come up to stand as we reach our arms overhead. On your breath out, bring your palms to your heart. We will reset here. A little bit of movement through the spine, opening into a twist and folding, remaining twisted. So listen along. Inhale, arms to the sky. Let's reach high. Breath out, twisting as you pull your left hand behind. Take a couple of breaths here. Check in with your hips. They may want to open into a twist as well, but we are trying our best to keep our hips facing forward. Now soften through that left knee as much as you need. On your inhale, pull back on your hips as you fold, but reaching your left hand to the sky. So nothing changes other than the upper body rotating 90 degrees. Some of us bending both legs, some of us bending right leg, your choice here. On your breath out, top hand comes down. Big breath, arms to the sky, reach high. Exhale, we twist to the right, pulling that right arm behind, opening through the chest. And if we have blocks, this is where a block can come in handy for that bottom hand. Otherwise, here we go, staying strong through the core. Inhale to pull back through the hips. We windmill those arms as we reach the right hand to the sky. That bottom hand is engaged with the earth, but we're not dumping our weight into that hand. So it's about maintaining a light bottom hand, but a strong bottom hand. Wonderful. Breath out, top hand to the ground. Breath in, let's lift halfway. Find length through your spine. That's strengthening through your back body. Shoulders wrap around the spine. Navel pulls in, and we can always bend the knees to take tension out of the hamstrings. Now I encourage you, if you do have a block, this does come in handy for the next movement so we can figure out how to work with the core. Maintaining this halfway lift on your inhale, reach your arms out in front. Try your best here to keep your hands in line with your hips. So if that means you have to be a bit higher, that's perfectly all right. Widening your feet if you have to, bending your knees generously if you have to. The core is already making some noise, I can probably guarantee that. Now keeping shoulders in line with your hips like we're turning a steering wheel. Left shoulder turns down, right shoulder turns up. Keep reaching your hands as we squeeze the block if we're holding it. Being mindful that for some of us, if we're not working with the block, the arms may tend to open up. Turn your shoulders down, take a breath. Exhale, we twist to the opposite side, dipping right shoulder, lifting left. Strong breath, remaining engaged through the core. Smell your armpit, see if you've put on some deodorant. 3, 2, 1, shoulders turn back down. Exhale, we'll fold forward. Great job. Removing the block from here. However best it works for you. Let's come down to our hips as we lift up for boat. Now when it comes to boat pose, some of us, knees bent and we hold on to the backs of our legs. Others, maybe hands are by the ground to support you. And for others, hands may reach out in front. Wherever you are, my ask is that you try your best to close this space between your knees and your shoulders. Holding 5, 4, 3. We'll be rocking our boat next. Come down to your left hip, so we rock to the side. Option to extend your legs. Option to play with the position of your arms. We are crunching through that top side, that right side, to engage the obliques a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, wonderful. Breath in, pull back in. Breath out, rocking to the right, extending if possible. Crunching, crunching, crunching through your top half, that left side. 5, 4, 3, 2. Breath in, back to center. Last challenge, you're doing great. Extending into your low boat. Roll your spine down one vertebrae at a time. Arms reach wherever they can. 5, 4, 3, 2. On your breath out, squeeze back in. And we'll rock our weight forward. Feet will step back, jump back as we return to downward dog. Great job. Great job. Let's have some fun. We'll continue to work as we build our heat. We're trying to create as much energy as we can at these 30 to 45 minute windows to value our time when we are practicing at home or away from the studio. So let's continue to build. Soften your knees to look forward. Exhale to travel and fold at the front of your mat. Halfway on your inhale. Fold on your exhale. Let's sit into our chair. Hips pull back. Spine lengthens up. Arms reach high towards the sky. Find length, reach high. Create lightness through your upper body here. Awesome. We'll be trying our best to come into Warrior 3. Balancing posture comes in next. So maintain this long spine. Get lighter on your left leg as it swings behind. Dip your chest forward as you reach your hands out in front. So we work this movement with both feet on the ground. Now we're challenging ourselves with only one foot on the earth. Mindful transition into a crescent lunge as we soften through right knee. Land the left foot down. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. We are in our crescent lunge. Arms are going to make some noise. They're going to get tired. That's quite all right. We're going to be fine. Lower body stays as is. On your breath out, hinge once again. Reach your arms as far out in front as you can. Try not to let the arms drop under the shoulders. Keep them lifted. Keep smelling your armpits. Turning that steering wheel, left shoulder turns down, right shoulder turns up. Extend the hands, some of you will interlace. And then please be mindful in your journey for this final posture of the sequence, our side plank. Arms can open out. Some of you will lower left knee down to step right foot back. After which point in time you decide whether we work with left foot on the ground, left knee on the ground, or whether we have the strength to step back. Wherever we are, 3, 2, take a breath out then to place your right hand on the ground as we take our vinyasa, this journey returning us to downward dog. And if you're unfamiliar with how to effectively work through the vinyasa, I do have a video on that. Please give it a watch. Just gives you some quick tips and tricks on how to make that sequence of postures work well for your body. We'll be switching sides as we soften through the knees to look forward. Breathe out to travel. Let's sit into our chair. Pulling back through the hips as we bend our knees. Staying strong through the toes as we grip down. Reaching arms high to the sky as we get long. Take a breath here. Breath out, that right leg swings back. We start to dip forward. Finding that dip, we then breathe deeply, sending our fingers far out in front. See what works for you. Holding 3, 2, 1. Right foot drops back as we lunge into left leg. And here we are in our crescent lunge, reaching arms high to the sky. Maintaining a long spine, we start to hinge. Push into the toes of your left foot to pull that left hip back. Stay strong through that left leg. Turning right shoulder down, left shoulder up. Just see where you can go. Just keep sending energy into this twist. And then mindfully, your transition to side plank. Arms open out. Some of you will step back, some of you will slide back. You have the choice of stacking your feet, staggering your feet. Some of you will lift top leg, some of you will flip. Wherever we are, 3, 2, 1. Left hand to the ground, a vinyasa. as we return to downward dog. Great job. Couple of breaths. Sequence, simple, yes, but it still requires a lot of engagement and a lot of presence to remain connected through the challenge. One more time, both sides. The knees soften to look forward. Your breath out helps you to travel. As we sit low, tall, high, we return to chair. Same set of postures, yes, but the experience will be completely different. From chair pose, we shift into warrior 3 as the left leg swings back. Think about a seesaw, finding that length from hand through foot. Land your left foot back, breath in, arms shoot high to the sky. Keep driving through that right foot. Hinging here as we extend. Reaching those arms as we prepare to twist, dropping left shoulder down. Keep your inner right thigh squeezing in. Arms open out as we take that journey into our side plank. And we always have options. Challenge yourself in a way that honors the body. Main thing to focus on, lifting top hip, pressing down through left hand, bottom hand. 3, 2, 1. Exhaling, vinyasa, moving towards downward facing dog. Last time, coming into chair, sitting low, tall, and high. Take a breath. Exhale, warrior 3. Squeeze those inner thighs as you turn your big toe down. Bending into left knee as right foot steps back. Breath in, arms reach high. Open up the heart. Exhale to hinge as we extend. And then using that next breath out to twist, rolling right shoulder down. Hold here, find length, maintain strength. Right hand comes down, left foot steps back. Last time around your side plank, I promise. 5, 4, 3, 2. Take a breath in wherever you are. Exhale, vinyasa. Let's seal things off. Wonderful job, everyone. Few breaths here as you bend through your knees. Our last challenge of the practice. Let's come into a seat. If you have blocks, they're helpful. We can always try the movements without blocks. Main thing here is that the blocks give you some extra space to press into the ground. Now, please understand that even if you don't manage to nail this posture, don't stress. We're learning about our body. We're building strength in the body. So as I encourage you to practice and repeat this practice time and time again, you'll notice that strength develop within your body. That's the hope. So legs crossed, cross-legged seat. Wrists in line with your shoulders. Elbows can be bent. Shoulders roll back, chin slightly tucks in. In round 1, we'll just look to straighten the arms as the hips hover off the mat. Feet are pressing into the ground, that helps. Palms pushing down. Be mindful that the shoulders don't collapse. 3, 2, 1, lower down. Now, if working with cross-legged seat feels relatively easy, we can always come to sit on our shins, and this would translate into what would be your lolasana, your pendant pose. But wherever we are, whether we're in lolasana, on our shins to lift, or in a cross-legged seat. This time we can add in the challenge of lifting up one foot or both feet at a certain point and just see how that feels. So once again, chin slightly tucks in, finding that length from wrist to shoulder. Inhaling, we lift through the arms. And if we're in Lolasana, we'll pull the thighs towards the body. And then you choose cross-legged seat or not. If one foot can lift, great. Can the other foot lift? Cool. Can both feet lift? Who knows? 3, 2, 1. Lower your hips down. And then the last option, if both of those seem like they're progressing well, would be to work with extended legs. So this being very akin to a L sit. We might have to adjust the hips a little bit, so we would pull them back. Once again, hands in line with shoulders, wrist and shoulder in line. Elbow can be bent, that's no problem. For some of us with long arms, that will have to happen. And then same rule applies, whether you lift the hips or you just lift a foot at a certain point, see what works. Breath in to push, 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 to lift, lift, lift. We lift up one foot wherever we are, great. Lift up another foot, cool. Lift up both feet, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, lower down wherever you are. Great job. It's hard to talk and teach, but that is a part of the gig. We're trying new moves, 2026, the year to try new things. And wherever you are, if you could just lift up the hips, lift up a foot, or lift up both legs, be proud of that. Be grateful for your body that it was able to do these things. So, let's just loosen things up now. So very soft movements to work with. We'll work with some arm circles. We'll bring a hand down to the ground. Your choice, left or right hand reaching up to the sky. But as we reach, just stretching through the side body as we bring that top bicep a bit closer to the ear. So avoiding a big slumping head or collapsing through the spine, find length here. And just a couple of big arm circles to work with. Big breath in as arm sweeps up and overhead. Smooth breath out as hand reaches forward and behind. One more time. Great. And we'll switch. Doesn't matter if we're in a cross-legged seat, same movement can be done from there. Big circular motion with the arm. Wonderful. Bring yourself back towards center. Let's just welcome a seated twist. We'll bring our right hand to left knee as we take a breath in. Breath out to twist. Using your back hand as a guide to open up that back shoulder. Using your front hand as an anchor to pull your upper body closer. Few deep breaths here. When it comes to working with the core in a lot of our postures, the core stays relatively locked in a neutral state. So here we are, just bringing a bit more rotation through the spine. Your breath in will bring you back to center, and we'll just be switching. Opposite hand, or hand to opposite knee. Your back hand, your right hand assists you in keeping you upright, so it's not that it just gets placed behind, but it is pushing into the earth to maintain length of your spine. We roll back through that shoulder. Some of you will look over your shoulder, facing the back of your mat. As we close that distance with front shoulder. Wonderful job. Breath in to slowly come back to center. Let's extend out our legs wherever they are as we drop our knees side to side. We'll come on to our backs as we bring our knees towards our chest. And having worked with some flexion of the core throughout the practice, we'll once again invite a bridge. Heels by your hips, arms by your side. If you have the energy to explore more, like a wheel, please do so. Otherwise, just a soft bridge or an engaged bridge, but whatever you may need from opening through your hips and your thighs as we spend about 5 breaths here. On your next breath out, let your hips come down to the ground. Windshield wiper your legs if you need. And as much as the movement portion of practice is now over and done with, please don't just skip the resting part of practice. If you wish to remain on your back, please do so. If you wish to come into a seat, no problem. But try your best to just place value on your next 10 breaths. Using these next 10 breaths as an opportunity for you to absorb the energy of your practice today. Breathe fully. Breathe deeply. Breathe mindfully. Let your body remain soft. Let your mind remain quiet as you enjoy your next 10 breaths without any distractions. Those of you on your backs, please invite soft movement, gentle movement as you bring yourselves up to a seat. Let us all bring our palms to our heart, tucking our chin to our chest as we keep our eyes softened as best as we can. Within this practice, you are bound to have tried some new things. And the only thing that you need to ask yourself is if you approached those challenges, those scenarios, with an open mind or a closed mind. Did you start the experience, the journey, with I can't do this or I haven't done this? Just the difference of a couple of words, but they hold a lot of power. If there's one thing that I can request of you is that you approach this year with a bit of an open mind, slightly more open than maybe what you've done in past years. And in doing so, let yourself enjoy the journey of trying something new. Although we are virtual and online, I thank you all for sharing your time and energy with me on your mat. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live peacefully and harmoniously. May you be liberated from your pain and suffering. It's my honor to guide you all here today with this practice as we sit tall to seal our practice by bowing forward and humbly saying, Namaste. Great job. Not an easy practice for some of us, but we did it. We made it to the end. If you enjoyed this practice, please leave your feedback below. It helps me understand how I can design future classes. I will have some interesting announcements over this next month regarding longer form classes, online classes, virtual classes, and I hope you stay involved with that journey ahead. As always, may you be happy. I will see you for the next practice. So take care. Have a great day. Thank you all for joining.